From the heartland of America, love, marriage, and stinking thinking. The program that takes on the common myths about life, love, and marriage with national relationship speaker and author Mark Gungor. Radio talk show host Debbie Chavez. Music by blues recording artist Jimmy Bratcher. And now, the host of Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thinking,
Welcome.
Yes.
The wise one has joined us once again.
The wise one has joined. Welcome to our show, Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thinking. Please welcome my co-host, Debbie Chavez. Señora Chavez. Señora Chavez, ¿cómo está?
Yeah, we do a radio show together. Wait, speak English.
Anyway.
I have the last name Chavez. I don't speak any Spanish. Go figure.
White chick with the...
Don't call me chick.
White chick with a Latino name. Latino guy with the white name. I don't know. It's all confusing. It's all very confusing.
I know, I'm sorry.
Hey, let's say hi to Reverend Jimmy Bratcher, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, man?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
The band is sounding good.
Looking good today.
Hey, man, you like my suit? Check it
I'm
out.
telling
Pinstripe,
you.
baby.
Ain't no flies on you.
I am a beautiful man.
I don't know
Yes,
if I
I
go
am.
that far, but
Anyway.
Alrighty then.
Good to be here with all y'all in Kansas City. Kansas City.
Good crowd.
We also have our floor director producer, Miss Lynn Wheeler.
Recently married. Woo!
We have to work on the new name. Wheeler.
Wheeler.
Because she's newly married.
I know, it's so hard to remember the new
Marriage.
name. Oh.
Marriage is what she's all about.
For those who don't know why he's talking like that, it's the Princess
Everybody
Bride
knows why I'm
movie.
talking
No,
like
they
that.
don't.
Because America loves this movie, Princess Bride. It's a fabulous, fabulous movie.
People. You paid him to say that. You paid him to clap.
Inconceivable!
Oh, gee. Today we're going to talk about, well, of course, marriage and relationships.
Wait, I got the other redhead I got to say hi to.
Oh, well,
my
she's
lovely
hiding. Oh, she's
wife,
over there.
Debbie. Please give her a hand in the audience. Redhead Debbie, they're everywhere. Can't keep up with it all.
So as I was saying,
Yes.
we'll talk about marriage relationships, but one of the emails that we got was about a woman having problems with her husband related to church, which is actually a common lament of many women, that their husbands don't take them to church. So how about we dive into an email?
Let's dive in.
Let's dive into the email.
We're
back
diving.
here. Okay,
Stand by. Stand by as we dive.
Figure of speech. This person
Audience
says,
is looking at me like, what is the matter with
I know. Like the most
wrong
hyper
with that
pastor we've
man?
ever met. This person says, I've been married for over 15 years to a Christian man. My biggest problem in our marriage is that he will not take us to church.
He's a Christian man
Yes.
who doesn't want to go to church.
That's right. We met in college at our campus ministry, so I thought the Christian community would always be part of our lives. However, soon after we married, he found problems with our church. He stopped going to church. My husband thinks
He
that...
found problems with church?
Imagine that.
Inconceivable!
Oh, boy.
Good grief! Of course there's problems with church.
He
The minute he showed up, there was a problem in church. We're crying out loud, there's no such thing as a perfect church. Except for my church in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay. Little plug there.
Come visit Celebration Church.
She says, my husband thinks that the church has become too feminized.
Ooh. Ooh.
So what do you think about this? Is he right? Is he wrong? I mean, he should probably still be going to church, but what do you think about this feminization of the church thing that he claims is going on? He says the women are taking on leadership roles that are not biblical, and the children are getting baptized at way too young of age, and he always seems uncomfortable at church. He's very grumpy.
Yeah, well, first of all, chill out a little bit. Check your medication. Right now, getting so uptight about every little stinking thing. There's
are a
always
little
something.
uptight.
There's always something you can complain about that you don't agree with. Look, and Christianity is not a successful church that really glorifies God, is not a group of people who all think the same about everything.
Well, we're supposed to have unity. That's
Unity,
biblical,
but you
that's
can be
biblical.
unity, but you don't have to think the same. This idea in Christianity that everybody has to agree about every little puking thing in doctrine, that's why there's 400,000 churches in America, and 80% of them have 100 people in them.
Wow.
80%, that's about as many people as you can get together who'll all agree. You know, and then when you factor the kids, they can't talk half of them anyway, so, you know, there's closer to 50 people.
That
who
can
don't-
agree.
Yeah, on agreement.
But you are supposed to have unity. The Bible
But
talks
you can
about
be
all the-
unity. In my church, you know what? We have people who have all the major doctrinal fights, you know, speaking in tongues, not speaking in tongues, eternal security, Calvinism, baptized, standing up, laying down, upside down. You know, and we don't care. I mean, I tell them what I think.
Okay.
There's a difference between what I think and what I believe. There's a handful of things that are absolutely non-negotiable. Okay?
Yeah.
You know, Jesus Christ being the Son of God.
That would be good.
That is non-negotiable.
Yes.
You hold a gun to my head and say, do you believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God? I'm a dead man. Because yes.
Yes.
If you think, do you have to lay down when you're getting baptized? I really don't care. I'm a little more flexible on that one. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, you know, he needs to chill out of it. Everything, obviously, he has his opinions. I might even agree with him. But, you know, you don't stop going to church just because you don't agree with everything that's going on. Now, again, I mean, if it's major doctrinal stuff, that's one thing. But
what is about this
he's got some
feminization
legitimate
thing?
things, particularly of the feminization of the church. And that's a big one. The church has been overly
Now, what do you mean
feminized.
by, what do you mean that it's been feminized?
Feminized. Feminized. I don't know, we need to take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about being feminized, because I can't answer it in 30 seconds.
Okay.
So anyway, we'll do that, and then we'll come back, and then you can press me upon this issue.
I will.
I shall be pressed.
Or depressed.
Or
I don't know,
depressed.
one of them.
Depending on-
We'll come back with more.
Now, there's a very famous hymn that for sure everybody knows, probably the most famous hymn out there. It's called Amazing Grace. Beautiful song, beautiful words, beautiful melody, okay? But if you ever listen to the original hymn as it was written, it's really pretty unexciting, certainly from a musical standpoint. It's virtually one chord through the whole thing. If you've ever been in very old, staid, conservative churches, I'm sure you've heard it played this way, you know. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Lovely little, don't clap. Here's just a one chord. It's all, I can do that. I can teach you how to do that in 5 minutes. All right? Well, this is the song. And this is how the song was written. Now, as the song became more and more popular, musicians came in and they started adding what we call changes. The chord changes. Musicians refer to them literally as changes. You see, the melody stays the same. The words stay the same. And the challenge is, as different people come in and reharmonize different songs, is to, without changing the melody, without changing the words, without changing the song, to add changes underneath. Of course, it makes it much more interesting. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Now, it wasn't written like that at all. But there are the changes that come. The song stays the same. You're still who you are. But the changes come, and sometimes they're a little uncomfortable, a little bit difficult. But it actually makes it a more beautiful song in the end. See, a lot of y'all would be thrilled to just have the one chord life. I want to stay the same, don't make anything different, please, God. God, somebody's sitting in my seat today, God, I can't believe it. I hate changes, don't make anything change. Estoy bailando.
Is this like your Bill Cosby dancing impersonation?
I'm dancing.
Okay.
You guys are hot, man. You're smoking. Fuego. Está bien.
Whoa.
Me gusta. What is your problem?
What's my problem?
You want my inside voice?
Yelling.
That is my inside voice.
Inside
Hello!
voice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's out of control. We are talking about the feminization of the church as...
Girly men.
Okay, or girly men. Well...
Talking about being a girly man.
And how would you define yourself?
Okay, a girly man. What we're talking about is the feminization of the church. The feminization of America, quite frankly. Over the last 60 years, our country has worked overtime to try to turn men into women. Not so much literally, and we're not talking about being effeminate or being gay or whatever. It's just that female values. Feminization is about imprinting female values deeply into men, and but it doesn't work very well.
Like what kind of female values? What are you talking about?
I have a list. I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
Actually, this is a list taken from a guy named Dr. Stephen Clark. He has a book called Man and Woman in Christ, where he writes about the signs of a feminized man. Let me talk about, first of all, why this is happening.
Okay.
First of all, our culture has pushed this very heavily since the women's lib
movement
thing,
and all that in the 60s.
Dealey Bobby, burn your bra thing.
Dealey Bobby.
You remember that? You were there.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't do that, I don't think. But...
I was a mere child at that time.
Were you a mere child? Sound like geezer.
I'm not commenting.
I was there. Anyway.
Back to your list.
Back to my, Anyway, but this whole idea of feminism, what has happened is because of so many men being absent in little boys' lives today. Because of divorce, because of single moms, because of whatever the deal, or even guys that are married, they're never there. They're working day and night. So what's happening is the boys are being raised by moms.
By women, yeah.
And what they're getting their values from are from mom and her sisters and from grandma, and then they send him off to school where he's taught now by women overwhelmingly in an educational system, by the way, that is very much geared to girls. Our whole educational system is about how to educate a girl, and they love teaching girls because girls, by and large, are compliant. They sit and they listen and they write down their lessons, and they like that. Boys are boys.
They're at the back of the class,
and we're more energetic and stuff.
Really?
And a teacher will say, do such and such, and all the girls will write it down. The boys will go, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? And they get threatened by that. I mean, it's a good conversation to have with a kid. Answer the question, engage them. Just because I told you so kind of thing isn't particularly helpful. And what's happening today is these boys who are by nature normal boys, they're drugging them.
What do you mean they're drugging them?
They're drugging them because when they don't sit right in that little system that's designed for little girls, they think there's something wrong with them, ADD, out of control, so they give them all kinds of drugs and stuff to try and get them to act more female-like. I'm telling you, this is a major problem. So, and what's ironic about this is the biggest losers in all this are the women.
How does that
Because they're winding up with men that they don't want to be with anyway.
Because they're feminized?
They're feminized, and they don't understand what's the wrong with these guys.
I think he struck a chord there. And now he's playing the chord. Okay.
But, I'm working on a book, actually, entitled Disappointment Makers, How Women Today Are Helping to Create the Very Men They Cannot Stand.
Ooh.
Ooh. Anyway, look for it. Anyway, so, what was I talking about? Oh, feminization. So, here are the signs of a feminized. Here's how you can tell if a man's been feminized.
Okay.
Again, not gay or effeminate, just that he's been feminized.
He picks up all these values.
Yes, okay, from the mom's side. Compared to a man who has not been feminized, a feminized man will put an unbalanced emphasis on how he feels. That's the number one thing.
What's wrong with feelings? I mean...
Because it's not good for men.
To have feelings?
Well, it's not good. It's not good for a man to live by how he feels. For women, this is a good thing.
Okay.
Because women, by and large, feel altruistic things, nice things. It's a good thing for her. I feel like I should clean the house. I feel... When men live by how they feel, you usually get a very bad result. Because men don't feel like doing anything. They don't. Man doesn't walk in, gee, I feel like I should clean the house.
Well,
all right?
He
thinks, I feel like I don't want to do jack squat, all right? And mama and all the women in his life has told him, it's important how you feel. How do you feel about that, Johnny? Everything's about in school and everything. Feelings. So he learns, well, I don't want to do it. I don't want to. I don't want to
why-
be a man. I don't want to be responsible. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I have my feelings. I have to be honest with my feelings. All right? Now, here's the thing. Men feel. You guys know what I'm talking about. It doesn't make us evil, but men feel things women don't feel. For example,
Okay.
a gorgeous woman goes walking by.
Yes.
A man may feel things that are inappropriate.
Probably.
Okay? He might feel like, let's reach up and grab some of that. Okay? I'm serious. You guys know what I'm talking about. Now, a real man learns, I don't live by my feelings. A real man learns, I live by my values. I live by how I believe. I live by what's important. I don't live by what I feel. So you've got these men, these boys today who literally act out their feelings because they've been taught to act out your feelings. So they're the ones who are groping women and doing all kinds of inappropriate things and treating girls badly because why? That's what their feelings tell them to do. Okay? Another example. When men get angry, we feel like punching you in the face.
Oh, gee.
Women generally don't feel. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't want a man living by his feelings. A man's feelings aren't always very good.
But shouldn't they have good feelings? Why do they have these bad feelings?
We're men, I don't know.
That's no excuse.
So you've got men today who literally, Christian men, by the way, who need to, who curse at their wives. Christian men
Yeah.
who hit their wives. Christian men who smack around their wives. Why? Because they're living by their feelings. They've been taught in a feminized world. You live by your feelings. That's why we've created such a generation of such badly behaving young men today. And it is a disaster. And you women have to understand, feelings are great for you. Usually that's a positive thing for you. You do not want to raise a young boy focusing on just be honest with how you feel, how you feel, how you feel. And it is becoming a disaster. And men are feeling bad things. They're not being responsible. Why? They don't feel like being responsible.
Okay,
They're not going to work. Why? I don't feel like going to work.
But why aren't they feeling
They're
responsible?
not wanting to grow up. We got 32-year-old boys living at home with mom for crying out loud.
Why are
Kick him out of the house.
Okay, but why do they have these rotten feelings? Why are the women the ones that are nurturing and doing the responsible things around the house, and then men say, I don't feel like it? Why don't they feel like it? We would like to know, on behalf of all the women here, we would like to know why the men don't have these productive, good, positive feelings.
Who cares? Who cares? Only women always want to know why.
Well,
Why is that? Why is... You know what? It's amazing. You know, you can teach a man something, and he'll just receive it for what it is and acts on it. You teach a woman something, she wants, well, why? Why is that? Let's have a Bible study about that. Do you have more books about that? La 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 la. Which is great. Okay, it's great for you, but who cares? It doesn't matter. What difference does it make why it's that way?
because men should have the proper values. They shouldn't have these disgusting feelings.
Check your medication, woman! What you're saying is a man should be more like a woman.
Is it wrong to be responsible? If a woman's responsible around the house,
No.
why shouldn't a man be responsible?
A man needs to learn to be responsible and taught to be. Absolutely, he should be responsible.
Okay.
But not run it through his filter of feelings. You shouldn't go to work whether or not you feel like it. You go to work because you have responsibilities. You're faithful to your wife not because you feel like it, but because it's the right thing to do. We have men today, Christian men, claiming the name of Christ, going out and committing adultery and justifying it because they're following their feelings. And it is a disaster. I'm all for be responsible,
Okay.
do the right thing,
Okay.
but you need to teach a young boy, stop it. We don't act by how we feel.
We just
We
do
act
the
by
right
what
thing.
was the right thing to do. And overwhelmingly, men need that. Women look at it in a different world, and when a woman
Yeah.
feminizes a man, puts a man in a culture where he's trying to get his values strictly on how he acts or does not act based on his feelings, you get what you get today.
Trouble.
Which is a mess,
Yes.
and we're having a disaster. And that's just point one, and we got a bunch more.
Much more to come.
You can't shut up!
Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thinking, more coming up. And go to our website, stinkingthinking.com. Lots of good resources there. We'll be right back.
Change is good for you. Well, Pastor, my changes are just all up and down, all confusing. That's okay. We call that jazz. Even that works. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that save a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Now, see, here's what happens when you don't. Yeah. Don't clap, just throw money. Here's how, without God in your life, then changes are just, they literally are just random notes. Things just happen the way they happen with not a lot of meaning. That's why so many people are so desperate, so frustrated in their lives. But you see, no matter what changes come your way, the Bible says God is able to make all things work together for good to those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. See?
Are you going to grace us with piano playing of your own sometime
Smoking!
this season?
I don't know, whenever. One of these shows, I'll play the organ with them.
Okay.
But they are cooking tonight, man. You guys
They're
are just
good.
killing. Give it up for these guys. This is killing it. They're just killing it.
Okay, back on the show, we're talking about the feminization of the
Don't be a
church.
girly man.
Little Arnold impersonation there?
Arnold.
It is.
I love Arnold.
You don't resemble him.
But I'm not in love with Arnold. See, Lynn, you do this on purpose. You actually do this. We actually pay you, and you still want to do this. Yes. It's
Glutton
amazing.
for punishment.
Yes. High tolerance for pain. Yeah. Yes. All right.
Oh, gee.
Anyway.
Okay, back to your points.
Back to
you
the
were
girly
making some
man
points
stuff.
about why men have become feminized.
Yeah, here's another sign of a feminized man. A feminized man will be much more subject to the approval of the group and thus significantly affected by how others feel and react.
Back to the feelings thing.
Back to the feelings thing. But he's much more sensitive by how the rest of the group feels. This is overwhelmingly a female trait. It's not a bad trait, particularly great in women.
Okay.
But when you start getting men now, instead of being a leader and challenging everyone to do the right thing,
yes,
he's more concerned about how the group will feel. And this has affected pastors big time.
So give us an example.
I am
What do you mean?
convinced that some of the biggest group of feminized men are, in fact, in the ministry today. Complete girly men.
Ooh.
God bless them.
Ooh.
But it's time, you know, and you can hardly even be a strong pastor today.
Why is
where
that?
because churches, we've set up the system where all we want are these warm and fuzzy guys who are very much in touch with their feelings. So here's what happens. Instead of being leaders in the churches, they've become poll takers. They're pollsters. They go and they want to just feel how everybody feels about everything.
Make sure everyone's happy?
Yes, before they'll make a decision on stuff. And it's not helpful.
Because they don't want to offend anybody.
Exactly. My ministry, Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage, okay, is overwhelmingly driven. The reason you're even watching me today, my ministry is driven not by church leaders. Church leaders have had very little
You
to
mean in
say
terms
about
of
me.
scheduling you coming to town with your
It's
conference?
been driven by the people. It is the people that have been calling and wanting
And requesting
and
you to come?
and requesting, and the ministry is growing and opportunities are happening for us to speak into people's lives. It's all driven by the people.
But not the pastors.
Not the pastors, because by and large they're scared to death that I'm going to offend somebody.
Well, there's
Can't
a
imagine
high,
why.
Really?
But even still, I mean, come on, people, guys, it's either right or wrong. Why are we so worried? And here's the deal. We could be in a conference of 1,000 people, and 950 of them, their lives have been changed, their marriages are stronger,
Yes.
I've helped them through it, they're empowered and stuff, but they will more respond to 2 or 3 couples that were potentially offended than by all the people that have been helped.
Ooh.
So they're poll takers, and instead of doing what they do is they run out and they're just feeling how everybody feels. I can see them in the conferences. I'm doing my thing. Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. You ought to see some of the stuff is absolutely hilarious. But I'm doing my deal, and I can see these pastors just nervous as cats in a room full of rocking chairs, you know. But as soon as they see everybody's happy, then they're good with it.
Wow.
They're good with it.
So you
Rather
think
than
men in general-
leading out.
Men in general then are taking on this poll-taking thing, trying to make everyone happy.
Because everybody's got to be happy.
comfortable.
Everybody's got to be happy. And listen, you guys, I mean, come on, I'm a pastor too, for crying out loud. Let's snap out of this nonsense. And you elders and church leaders, stop freaking out every time somebody says they're offended. I'm offended. I'm offended. You know, there should be a new rule in the body of Christ. Every time somebody says they're offended, we slap them.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
Already?
Yeah.
Let me know how that works.
And if that offends them, we slap them again. Just keep slapping till you stop it, for crying out loud.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
mean, grow up, people, for crying out loud. Look, if you don't like something I say, just say I didn't like it. Say he's an obnoxious jerk, okay? I can live with that. You can live with that too. But stop, because this offense thing is a control mechanism. It's a way of a few small-minded people controlling everything else that happens.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, why? Because the Bible says, woe to those who bring offense. But people, we're not talking about people who get upset. He's talking about those who cause people to fall away from their faith. You may not like me. You might think I'm an obnoxious jerk. Can't imagine why. But I'm not gonna make you fall from Jesus, for crying out loud. Quit using, I was offended. I was offended. And we're so scared. I have huge organizations that want me to come, okay?
Yeah.
But the reason for not coming is someone might be offended. I say, well, has anyone ever said they were offended? No.
But they might be.
But something you say might take offense. So forget that we can help tons of people. If one person has a cow in the church, then we don't do anything. And I'm just saying, look, you know, we've got to change this thinking. Quit being so, because a real leader says, look we need to move forward. God is calling us. We're going to do the right thing. Someone might get mad. Well, whoop-de stinking do. Grow up, get over it.
Well, there you go.
And quit trying to worry about how everybody feels about everything, because it's not healthy.
There you have it.
There you have it.
If you didn't understand a thing he said,
Don't be a girly man.
You can always send an email to the show, and we'll continue to tackle your particular question on that topic or any other topic. The email address, radio@laughyourway.com, because we talk every day with this man.
Yes, you can find the link at stinkythinking.com. That's where you go, and you can find all the places where you can go listen to the show and stuff.
And get it
because we
every
argue
day.
about this every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Oh.
It's lovely. Thanks for watching. We love you guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.
To learn more about Mark Gungor and how you can improve your marriage, visit us online at stinkingthinking.com. There, you will find Mark's best-selling book, Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. You can also see if Mark will be bringing his seminar to a city near you. And you can listen to Mark on his daily radio show, where you can call in with your questions and speak with Mark in person. Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thinking is a production of Laugh Your Way America.